James Tucker, director on Batman Beyond, only won an Emmy Award for the Egg Baby episode.
That's been coming up a lot.
His first episode directing.
Wow.
It's downhill from
Got
there.
10 minutes left.
Since it keeps getting brought up, could you talk about the Egg Baby episode? Like how it got started or ideas?
First time directing.
Yeah.
What
My
was that
first
like?
time directing, the director who I didn't replace him because it was Kurt Gaeta was directing Return of the Joker. So for him it was a promotion. For me it was a promotion because I was a storyboard artist. And then the first script is Egg Baby, and I'm like, this is a joke, right? Because it was an uncharacteristically comedic episode, and it was really campy, and it was something we hadn't really done much for Batman Beyond. So at first I'm like, what is it? Are you pranking me? Because this is like, I was really scared of it, and because it was my first episode, and I really didn't want to, I didn't want to bomb. And then Bruce Timm was like, no, it's cool. You can, lean into it, make it funny, make it your own. And I like camp, I like weird humor, and so I kind of just went with it, and it turned out pretty good. And then Emmy time rolled around, and he told me, like, I think I'm going to submit that for the Emmy. I'm like, what?
This was Alan telling you that?
No, this was Bruce.
Oh, Bruce. Okay.
And he said, I think it'll go over well with the Emmy voters because it's not dark and heavy. And I'm like, but yeah, it's not what our usual show is like. He said, no, I feel good about it. I'm like, in my head, I'm thinking, if this doesn't get an Emmy, he's gonna fire me. So, fast forward, we get nominated, and I'm literally sitting next. He's on one side of me, and I don't know if Andrea was. Well, I don't know. We were sitting next to each other, close by. And we were the first category that came up that day, and then I heard the words Batman Beyond announced, and then I heard screaming, and the screaming was coming from me. I was like, oh my God, And so there's a tape of us accepting the award. Well, Bruce accepting the award, but I'm right behind him. I made sure I was in camera range. It was in televised, so it didn't really work. But it was a great. I mean, it happened so early. I was 5 years into my animation career, really, and so, from that, Bruce, I don't know. I guess I earned my keep with him because he helped. He made me a co-producer on Justice League. And from that, I went on to Legion of Superheroes, Brave and the Bold, and then doing these movies, and so. Egg Baby was very, very good to me. So, that's that.
What was your most favorite production to direct? The one that you had the most fun with?
To direct? I mean, the most favorite project, I think besides Beyond was Brave and the Bold, because that was like my baby as far as everything that I loved and grew up with, and all the influences. I was the boss, so I could put them all in there, and no one could say, oh, that's silly or that's stupid, except me. So, that was great. Of Batman Beyond, my favorite episode beyond Egg Baby. Egg Baby's a sentimental favorite, but it was a hard episode because it was my first. But I really liked how Out of the Past turned out. I thought that was a really good script and really twisted, and then a lot of funny elements in it as well.
If you had the opportunity to direct a live action, would you do it?
Batman Beyond?
Yeah.
I don't know, live action scares me because I like actors, but even in voice directing, they're exhausting. So I couldn't imagine directing them as human, like actually telling them what to do, walk around and do this. So, I mean, they're lovely people, but first of all, they'd never ask me. I mean, because, there's many people above me they would ask. I would hope they'd ask Bruce before they'd ask anyone else if they were going to go that route. But I like animation. I think animation gives me so much more autonomy to do what I want. And then you start doing these big budget things, so you got a whole slew of people in suits who make way more money than us who tell you what to do and tell you that they don't know. So I'll stick with animation as long as I can. Now, if they want me to consult or work on story or do conceptualize, I mean, I love drawing. That capacity feels more normal to.
Following the success of Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, there were rumors about the Batman movie. Could you comment on that? And is this something that you would like to reveal?
If they ask me to, I've heard those rumors too. I don't know where that is in the reality. It makes sense. Although I don't think Batman Beyond has much to do with Spider-Verse. It's not like we had a bunch of Batman running around. I did on Brave and the Bold, but anyway, so they should call me about that. But Terry's more in common with Spider-Man 2099. That he owes a lot to that comic. Even though it's weird because we were thinking of Spider-Man when we did the show, but we weren't thinking of that Spider-Man. Which would have been a natural Spider-Man to think of. Even there's a lot of similarities, but never once did we look at that comic book and go, it's so weird. We didn't at all. It was just classic Spider-Man was our template. I hope Batman Beyond gets some new life, and if they do a feature film, that would really increase the chances of us going back and doing either a DTV in relationship or a series even. So let them make it. I hope they make it because it will mean we can make something too.
I understand you were one of the bigger DC fanboys in the crew. What did you bring to the show?
Well,
from
things
that?
like giving him a dog, and saying, oh, it should be called, I don't know where Ace came from because I don't think
It was Ace the Bat Hound.
Yeah, okay, so that's it.
Yeah.
I said he had a hound in the comics. Stuff like that. And he used false face in this show. I mentioned that. I know those are several ideas I had to kind of reference the older comics, but not be direct links to them. But yeah, I mean, it didn't come into play so much on Batman Beyond as it did on Justice League. Justice League, I had a lot of the DC cred came through me. And Dwayne to a certain extent, but Bruce was more of a Marvel guy. But I mean, the way it worked is I would have the DC geek stuff, and then Bruce would Marvelize it a little bit to make it work for what the show was, and then it would become its own thing. So that's how it worked.
You guys eventually had more, as the show went on, some of the older villains coming. Did you guys ever propose anyone who didn't make it from the classic rogues?
No, because I mean, Bruce was very clear early on. He did not want it to be a futuristic version of the villain,
right?
Old villains. We stayed away from that as much as possible. If anything, we'd say let's make our own Two-Face version,
right,
but make it mean something to Terry. So that's where Big Time came about. And Ink was kind of a Clayface template. No, we didn't. I don't think there was anyone we talked about bringing back that was seriously considered. We didn't get that far. I mean, we were trying to build him his own rogues gallery of new characters, and so we ran out of episodes. If we'd done more, we probably would have tried to do more like stuff like that. Did you say that was it?
I think that's what you said, right?
Yeah.
I said one more question.
All right, one more.
As you look at your filmography, you don't seem to really like to work on CG productions.
On what?
On the
CG?
CG.
I haven't. I've come close, but for whatever reason, like I was developing a Batman show. I developed 2 Batman shows that got nixed, and then they ended up doing Beware the Batman. So I had a Batman No Man's Land pitch that you may have seen some artwork from. And then I had a World's Finest Superman. And Chris Nolan killed that because he said Superman and Batman don't exist in the same world.
Thank you, Nolan.
All right, I give you Kevin Conn.